As I've come along journaling through these videos, um, a living truth, a journey from the raw me that didn't want to do cameras, doesn't want to do people, doesn't want to do, doesn't want to do. That's you. I'm talking to the camera now. I'm having to sit here and look at myself and deal with it. Yeah. Look at myself. Look deeply into my eyes and into myself. And that's exactly what these videos are doing for me. Raw emotion, facing things I don't want to do, but not harmful things. Things that to openness. Yeah. Truth. Yeah. That's what it's about. So, over the past month, just going in and out and in and out of integrating that limited being I see here before me, sitting in front of me in this camera. I see this limited body with the hummingbird t-shirt, house, everything. I'm seeing everything in front of me. And then I've been very much intimately, as I go through these experiences, or as I have gone through these experiences with Rupert Spira, I definitely take long breaks to integrate it, because you hear these things, but you have to experience them. You have to take them in. You have to do these things that he asks you to do over and over and over until they integrate, because it pulls stuff out of my gut. It pulls stuff out of my gut for me to say, where is that coming from? When it's a neggy bug, it's what I call a negative emotion, in case I'm speaking to anyone. But for me, the word neggy bug is those little negative emotions that pop up, or big emotional things that pop up. I've had what I thought was life-ending neggy bugs and little bitty neggy bugs. But nonetheless, that's not important. A neggy bug is a neggy bug. So when they pop up and you see where they come from, that's it. After you do that over and over, you'll be doing that for the rest of your life, because they keep coming. It's one thing after another. But when you start lumping them, into your reactions and how they come from a place, all these actions come from a place. They come from a place of inadequacy or fear or love, or the ones from love, I think it's easy to identify. When they come from the heart, it's pretty, well, maybe it isn't. It's not obvious that it comes from the, or it's not obvious when we feel love that it comes from the very source of everything physical or unseen or seen. Let's put it that way, unseen or seen. Or if it comes from a thing, because we mistakenly think things make us happy. We do something and we think, oh, that felt good, so I'll do it again. It's a totally normal way to do things. But sitting and the recognition of the place where we manifest is not something that we recognize as a thing to do because we don't see people doing it. Well, we do a lot more now than we did before, but it's not something. As a kid, if I talked like I am now, which I kind of tried to do occasionally, you would really be thought of as crazy, and probably still are by a lot of people now. But that's beside the point. Except for the fact that it was harder to navigate that when you're back in my day. It was harder to navigate. A little bit harder. It's still not prevalent in my everyday life. I do have a friend I can talk to deeply, but in my everyday life, I would not say that's a norm. Oh, goodness, it's fun to laugh. It's fun to love. It's fun to laugh. Anyway, when you can take these neggy bugs and you can group them together and not just say, this neggy bug came from that incident, and boy, you can see, where it began, maybe. If you don't, it's okay, because you can still begin to get a picture and a repetition of tracing back fear or inadequacy. That is easier to trace back. Maybe not to the very beginning, but you can trace back that it was bred, it was nurtured in you. This fear, or you nurtured it because it was so traumatic. The beginning of it was so traumatic, you fed it. And so tracing those neggy bugs back takes a while to get through the thickness of that conditioning that we all have. And then, of course, in the world around us, we have a lot of suffering, and we have politics. Oh, goodness. How we can all discuss these things so beautifully. I know that's a little sarcastic. I'm sorry to myself. But it's just that Rupert's revolution, the understanding that Rupert has shared with the world, and so many, now the Buddhists, all people share, all different, I guess, religions or spiritual teachers have shared a lot of things on this same road. But anyway, I like Rupert's understanding the way he does it, because he doesn't, it's not a religion or anything, but it's an understanding. It's an understanding about life. And it's no woo-woo. It's just so evident when you experience these things. So getting to those neggy bugs and getting through that, and chipping away at our conditioning and being able to sink behind and sink beneath the thing that we think we are, this body mind, and realizing, feeling the home that we emanate from, feeling our way back home. We don't go anywhere, we just are feeling our way back to our very essence. Not my essence, not your essence. The essence of all, it is yours and mine, but it's not mine alone and you're alone. You don't manifest things. I don't manifest things. This world is manifested by Source, which has no beginning and no end, and is so unperturbable. I like that word, unperturbable. It's fun to say, unperturbable. Anyway, so that no beginning, no end vastness of eternal essence, being, that has no name. You can apply whatever name you want. I like the word God, but it has such a stink to so many people, and a fragrance as well, but sometimes it just doesn't have a vastness that essence or the beginning of all that seen or unseen has. That vastness is kind of conditioned into this word God, which for me it really wasn't. But I think for a lot of people it was. People that were very, very into a specific religion, to the point that it got enclosed with all these rules and regulations, and people were unable to see the vastness. Because the translators, once people die and translators come along, well, then it can be made into whatever anybody wants it to be made into, right? So, I'm talking to myself, that's right. So, be it. It's the way it is. But I still like the word God because it's only one. It's the only one word that is like a name that is supposed to mean that big vastness. And if you have studied, I've studied a lot of different religions, and if you've studied just the Jesus part of Jesus, you see that vastness. You can look at Buddha, you can look at so many different places that the vastness has all these different names. But I just like God. It's so simple and whatever. So if I use it accidentally sometimes to shorten things up, because I keep having to explain in long words, then I'm okay with it. Since I'm talking to myself, I'm okay with it. But anyway, so as I go along contemplating these things that Rupert shares, and I take these long breaks and assimilate it into my being, and I've gone through these things of my experience and the fears and the lacks, and I see how they led my life. And I see how getting back before that, before any of that, before things and emotions, which are things, and perspectives, which are things, and they're all beautiful things. They're all tools of manifestation to help us paint this beautiful art. Everything exists and it's here, but look what we can do with it. Look what we're doing with it. Look at, oh gosh, it's endless. Structure, the creativity, wow, the harmony, the music that we're playing just with sights, sounds. Yeah, so manifestation has endless roots from being the source of all of this and every one of us. That's how we're connected. We're not connected through genes. We're connected through our very essence, you and I. If there's all the me's out there, all the you's out there, all the everybody's out there. We're all connected by source. God. Okay? Okay. I like it. Anyway. So, I've had a chance to go back and forth. I go like from my separate self or my limited self, my body mind. I go from my body mind to standing in the knowing of source. And being manifest as a body mind. But when I'm taking source with me, when I'm standing in that as being who I truly am, and I'm acting as soulless, whatever way, I've been given this body mind, or it's been breathed. I haven't been given it for awareness isn't residing in me. I'm in it. I'm in awareness, or this body mind is an activity. This body mind is an activity of awareness. Beautifully put. But most of my words come from Rupert because of the lessons and the understanding put in such a way. I'm trying to put them in my own words because I spend all this time letting things come through me as me. I mean, coming through me so I can express it through my own experience. It's going to come out in different words because I have different shortcoming. I'm in a totally different place than Rupert is. And he comes from a different background. He hasn't lived the life that I have, and that is fine. We are all from everywhere, but if he'd have lived my life, he'd be street talking. He doesn't do that. He talks beautifully. Absolutely beautifully. It's incredible. I love it, though. I love the purity of his having been conditioned the way he was. Although I'm not saying he hasn't been through stuff. He has. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying he's probably been protected a little more than me, and me a little more than someone else. So believe, yeah, there's a whole lot of range there. And I have family that's taught me a lot in that realm. And I've lived through a lot that's taught me a lot in that realm. Anyway, so it going through the experience of finding out your fears and your inadequacies and how strong they lay and how thick the conditioning is, and being able to stop just addressing how something affected you and that particular incident and where that came, how you get into bigger lumps or buckets where you can actually feel like you're getting somewhere. Yeah, you really feel like you're getting somewhere when you start realizing, oh, well, this all relates to fear. Oh, well, this all relates to inadequacies. Well, I don't need to start doing every little thing. I can see, well, that's part of that bucket. This was part of this bucket. Those two buckets about take care of everything to me. Inadequacy on one side, fear on the other. Those two make solace. Made solace. So even though I used to say I had God, or whatever word you want to say, source or whatever, in my back pocket because I never brought it out and I couldn't talk to anybody. I had no way to express myself that way. And now I do. That's what's cool about these videos and sharing. Even if nobody ever sees it, it's still healthy. But then, of course, there's a lot of things that are coming back at you through different people sharing a lot of neggy bugs and feeding them to you. So you don't want to open your mouth for them to stick the spoon in. And then other things you do. So that's a good thing. So we do, as we walk along, the more open we are, we know what to let feed us and what to not. When we're vulnerable and we're walking around like a pinball in a pinball machine, which is how I looked at my life, well then, anything goes. I thought that in my life I was supposed to learn how to love everything. God is love, right? I didn't learn that through church. I learned that experientially. That's a long story we won't go into, maybe someday. But anyway, I don't need to go into it again because I know it. And there's probably nobody on the other end of this video. So I don't need to get into it. So anyway, I forgot where I was going with that, but yeah. We I'm totally freezing up here. Let me see if something's wrong with the video. I'm kidding. Okay, to snap out of it, I was talking about God being in my back pocket, yeah, and not having somewhere of expression. So when we are looking at a video and we're vulnerable to it, and we're that pinball in the pinball machine, we have to, well, I had to. I don't know what we have to, but I know in my experience I had to bang around a lot to figure stuff out on my own. Um, I didn't search for anything. I just thought life would take care of me. Um, and life did, because I learned on my own pain and suffering. It was the hard way to learn, but it's a good way to learn because it sticks with you like glue. And it's deep. Deep felt. It doesn't go away. But that there was an underlying source thing going on in there as a kid. It was a survival thing, maybe, but um, I knew it was there. So I knew something greater had created this world, because it was impossible that um, people knew what was going on. I mean, I could see that as a child, that people didn't actually know anything about life. They knew to work and to make money and to do this and do that, but yeah, it was pretty obvious to me that the answers were really shallow. I wouldn't, yeah, pretty obvious. Um, so there you go. Having to, I didn't search, but I just figured I'd find out the answers, and lo and behold, Rupert's understanding has stopped my search and had me just completely experience again in a different way, in a full way, fuller way than ever. And I guess you have to be receptive to that, or to whatever, because I'm sure that, we search until we find, and then when we find, it doesn't mean anything's over, because everything's just beginning. Because once you find an understanding that opens you, that just widens you to the max. When you find that, and you aren't searching anymore, now you've got it. You're having to live in it and learn how to live with it, live in it, live it, live. Um, and that involves you diminishing. Your identity changes into another identity, actually. I mean, it doesn't mean that you still have all this conditioning and stuff, but your identity is not the same. It morphs. So that's the new beginning, the morph. I like it. I am enjoying it. And so I will keep sharing. Um, I say the word sharing because whatever is happening with the videos or whatever, it's inside of me and it's coming out, whatever way. But there's a lot of love attached. I have an overabundance of love. It just fills me up and pours out. So I will continue to pour that out, and so I call that sharing, just because it's in and it's coming out, and that's the way it's always been for me. Only used to be a lot of sad stuff coming out, a lot of hurt stuff, or sometimes nothing. Just couldn't talk, period. Freeze, fear, lack, all those things. So it's okay. That was sharing, but not so much a gift. If anybody, I think you would want to run the other way if I was coming, and I think most people did. Uh, so, or I don't think most people ran from me because I still had a lot of love, but there was still a lot of pain and sorrow attached, and inadequacy and fear attached. So I was needy, and I think that people kept their distance from me, and that's probably a good thing. I think I probably, usually when you talk about someone or something like that, you're talking about yourself. So I probably um, kept my distance from other people as to not hurt them. I wouldn't want to hurt somebody with any sorrow or pain. And there was definitely a couple of things in my life or many things in my life I didn't talk about. Um, so a lot of them I couldn't talk about for years and years and years, and then when I could talk about them, I wouldn't want to. It's not. You're subjecting yourself to a lot of things you might not be able to enjoy or even maybe understand at the time or whatever. But it's not even important at this point. What's important is here. Um, Here is all there is. I like it. And I love life. I love, um, I love love. So that'll be enough for now. I'm doing this on a different computer, hoping it works. If not, so that's all. Bye.